Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name's Chantal, and I am a hand-in-hand certified instructor. And today I have the wonderful Kathy Gordon with me. Kathy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Chantal. Thanks for having me. I am a certified hand-in-hand instructor. I'm also the single adoptive mama of he's almost 22-year-old. And I came to hand in hand when we were really struggling with bedtime, around 3, 4, 5 in there. And I went on to become a certified instructor. And now I am one of the mentors in our awesome membership program, the Hand in Hand Community.
Wonderful. And that's what we want to talk about today. So tell us about the hand-in-hand community. Give us an overview.
Sure. So the hand in hand community is a really special place where you're going to find tools, support, encouragement, and connection as you care for the children in your life and nurture yourself. We're
Mm.
very, very big on our members nurturing themselves. You don't want to provide connection and lose yourself to the point of
Mm.
exhaustion. And so we support parents and educators and professionals in bringing more connection to the children in their care. And so that the important work that we're all doing can be a little bit easier and even more fun. And the way we do this is really through personalized, individualized support. Because you can read an article on our website, and we have some wonderful articles with a lot of great information. But maybe that's somebody else's story or how they did it. And you're like, oh, but that's not that's not how what happens in my house. And
Mm.
so the mentors, when you ask a question, we know a little bit about you. We know about the ages of your kids. You've told us that. And so we're going to give you really information on the tools, how to use the tools in your family that works well for you. And follow up. We love people who ask follow up questions, who give us updates. We love people who ask multiple questions a day. So you're going to get a lot of support and it's going to be individualized.
That's great. And as you say, so it's pretty much around the clock that you have these wonderful mentors answering these questions. So that's wonderful. And then of course the big piece for people today raising children is community. So you've got all these questions coming up, and then you've got all these community members seeing themselves reflected or seeing something that's vastly different, but then just helps them maybe down the track, or just that solidarity of like, okay, we're all in this together. We may have the same sort of issues or we may have very different issues, but there's someone here that gets it and we can all sort of rally together. So I love that. I mean, I feel like we've covered this very beautifully, but why should someone join? What's your sort of, you can't miss out on this amazing opportunity.
Well, as I said, that's that individualized support. And as you said, it's the community because, we were not designed as human beings to parent alone or even parent in small little nuclear families. We were actually designed, and we have, in back hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we parented in multi-generational communities. And there were always lots of adults to care for the children. In fact, one of our community members posted one day, oh, I finally got it. I finally got the right ratio of adult to child. She had one child. Her husband was there. I think her mother-in-law or mother were there. So there were 3 adults and one child helping that child with getting up in the morning, being connected, doing all those tasks, and then getting out the door. And
Mm,
it was easy. It was fun because there were 3 adults and one child. Now, that's not realistic.
mm,
We even support educators in using the hand in hand tools. So there's 1 or 2 teachers in a whole classroom of kids. So we also want to provide that support so that you can parent well when it's just you, if you're a single parent or you're solo
mm.
parenting. So you have the whole community, you have that solidarity. And in fact, one of the benefits of the hand-in-hand community membership is that you get the self-guided course, Setting Limits and Building Cooperation, as part of your membership. And we organize going through that together as a cohort. So it's nice because there's that gentle accountability. There's a mentor who's saying, okay, this is what we're going to do this week. And I don't know about you, but I've purchased lots of online courses that have collected cyber dust. So here they're going through, there's a mentor who's saying, here's what we're going to work on this week. Here's the videos we're going to watch. Here's the topic. Here's the highlights. Here's some questions. How's it going? And so you have other, you're going through it together. So that's the kind of community that we encourage, as well as you get a weekly live Zoom support call. And so that's with other community members, where the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do listening time. And so you're actually going to get one-way listening time, or depending if the group is really large, we'll break up into breakout rooms. But you're going to get that listening time, and then you're going to get face-to-face coaching in a community setting.
That's great. So so whilst you're on the subject of listening time, so listening partnerships are one of the hand-in-hand connection tools where you and another adult get to listen and let it all out in a non, there's no interruption, there's no referring back. You can use that time however you like. It's a great way of just really flushing out your system, or working through a specific issue, or, going back in time and working out, how things were when you were the same age as your child. It's, the possibilities are limitless. And the hand-in-hand community is one of the best ways, or the best way, to be matched with a listening partner. And can you tell us about that, Kathy?
Oh, yes. Yes, we like to say that there's 3 ways you can get listening time. I already mentioned one, which is in our live Zoom support call, where you're going to, and that's great for somebody who's brand new to listening time, that you've never, like we had a dad on the other day who had never done it before, and he said, I'd like a listening partner, but I'd like to see it done first, So he got, in that very safe environment, he got to experience getting listening time. Then we have a post where you can put your availability and your time zone, and then we search for you and we connect you. So it's like concierge matchup, and all you need is your availability and your time, because it doesn't necessarily matter if it's the person has the same age kids, or in fact, it's really good if you have different demographics. My very first listening partner, long-term listening partner, I'm a single adoptive mom of a boy, and she was a married daughter of a little girl, and there was about a good 5-year age difference between our kids. So we weren't tempted to like share or give advice, because we had very different stuff going on. So you post on that listening partnership connection matchup, and we help you search. And then we also have a chat feature called Listening Time Now, which means that you can get spontaneous listening time, that you post in there, hey, anybody available for the next hour? And anybody available, anytime today. So that getting spontaneous listening time is so great for when in between, or I don't have time to call, my listening partner's not available, they're on vacation, and you can reach out and get spontaneous listening time. So those are the 3 ways that we support our members in getting that very important emotional support tool of listening time.
Yeah, wow. So it's a very unique membership. It's a very personalized membership. And obviously now you've met Kathy and can see how wonderful an experience Kathy is. And the other mentors are just as wonderful. And also you'll have people at different varied levels of the journey, which I love. I love what you can get from someone who's fresh, a reminder of, what it can be like when you're really in the weeds, or also just a question that's really back in those basics, and you get a refresher on those things. And then you have people who have been there for a while and can really sort of contribute to how this can work in your specific home. And that's, again, the other thing is having your hand held, feeling like you can actually apply it to your life and that you don't have to be an expert in anything. You're here to be held and uplifted and supported. So that is so great. Thank you, Kathy, for having a talk to us about this today. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we? Yes,
Some
go for
people
it.
say, do I need to know very much about hand in hand in order to join the community? And the answer is absolutely not. Within the community, we have a little mini course. It's called Learn 5 Tools, that there's a really foundational article about each of the tools. That's a great way to be introduced to the tools. And the building cooperation course, setting limits and building cooperation course. Yes, it's focused on setting limits, but our founder, Patty Whipler, talks about all of the tools. So going through that course, so no, you do not have to know anything about hand in hand or anything about the tools in order to join and get the support. All you have to be is someone who cares for, works with children, who would like to have a healthy, connected relationship with those children without losing themselves, and would like the emotional support of being in a community.
Yeah, excellent. So great. Thank you so much, Kathy, for having a chat to me today. And we hope to see you in the hand-in-hand community. Thank you, everybody.